Welcome, everybody, into another episode of Olympic Ice on the Nick Burt Sports Network. I am not Nick Burt. I'm Matt Merrifield, joined by the ghost of Nick Burt here on this Thursday evening. I don't know what could have happened to Nick this afternoon, to be quite honest. There was no international hockey on the men's side. I know there was a women's game today. I'm not quite sure how that one ended. I haven't seen enough Instagram stories posted of a certain Farmington, Michigan native scoring a game-winning goal. But I don't know. I'm doing splendid, as Nick usually asks me to open up shows. But let's ask Nick, or at least the ghost of Mr. Burt. How are you doing?
This is so bad.
Can I say one thing? Just
Sure.
one thing. I was the one telling you this is what was going to happen. You thought it was going to be 5-0.
I know you did, and I much rather would have had it be 5-0 because this is 1,000 times worse now. I know this team wasn't good. I knew they weren't going to win, but there they were up 1-0 with 2 minutes left, and I'm like, okay, now I get to start to believe in this team. Straight down the shitter.
And then the women's version of Sidney Crosby in American women's hockey scores the game-tying goal. And then, like I said, Farmington legend, Megan Keller with the game-winning goal in overtime. Just an absolute beautiful tuck. And the United States is golden in Milan. Kenny Albert with actually a pretty good call for that game-winning goal, if I have to say. I didn't like his call yesterday for Quinn Hughes, but I did like his call today. But, hey.
As somebody that got a whole office invested in women's hockey, I don't know what else to say. I actually heard Kenny's call. It was pretty good, I have to say.
What was Snoop Dogg's call? That's what I want to know. That's what the people need to know.
I guess.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to console you because the United States was the better team most of the game. The Canadian girl did really well. I don't know her name, but she was terrific. I mean, the game was a lot closer. The Canadians played way better than they did last week. The biggest takeaway I had, and I was talking about this with my father during the game, I know Layla Edwards is a superstar and everybody loves her. She is not a defenseman. I hadn't watched enough of the American team to know what she looked like in the previous, 6 games they played in this tournament. I know she's normally a forward. Who on earth decided, hey, let's put her at defense? I know it didn't matter for the first 6 games of the tournament, but it did matter today, and it cost them on that one goal that Canada had. And she was terrible in the defensive zone the entire game. I just need that thrown out there. Yes, she's a very good hockey player, terrific talent for University of Wisconsin, and will probably win multiple gold medals for the United States in her career, at least one more in 4 years. But
you really think Canada's losing a gold medal in 4 years in Marie-Philip Poulin's final Olympics?
When she's 48 years old?
Hey, she's going to be 38. That's how old Crosby is right now. We'll be fine.
Whoever at USA Hockey is making some of these decisions, like JT Miller and Layla Edwards playing defense, just JT Miller's existence is just a hate crime in and of itself. And then Layla Edwards doing whatever she wants to call playing defense, also stupid to me, but whatever. Congratulations to the United States. It didn't end up mattering. Just an appetizer for what's going to come at 8 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday. About 10:30, but yeah.
That's the worst part. I won't be able to do this in the dark after this game if this happens again on Sunday.
Can we get the lights on? I need to see some of the paraphernalia you have behind you. Yes. See?
Okay.
Take the hood off. Look like a Sith Lord. And yeah, there you go. I hate
that maple syrup, people.
I wish I could think that was Canadian whiskey.
Yeah, no. No.
Damn. If I was... No, never mind. I was going to make a comment about what I could bring on Sunday, but first off, I will be in a hockey rink. Second off, I don't even know if I want to do that anyways. But anyways, at 11 o'clock on a Sunday. Let's talk American hockey. Well, not American hockey. Let's talk men's hockey, I should say. Semifinal Friday tomorrow. Canada, Finland, 10:30. United States, Slovakia at 3 p.m. I guess I'll ask you the question. I guess we can reverse the rules today. What's your nerve? I guess we can do it like this. I'll host for the Canada side. You can host me on the American side. Where's your nervous level at on a scale of 1 to 10? I mean, obviously, all 4 teams here are very good and all capable of winning this tournament, but where are you sitting at in terms of nerves?
8. Honestly, after what I saw on Wednesday, I'm very nervous about this. Saros is a goaltender he's been getting better this tournament. He's a goaltender that can steal a game. And the Crosby part plays a big factor for me, just not for the goal scoring part or anything like that, because we both know he hasn't been what he used to be. They've got that covered. It's the presence on the ice. From all looks of it, not playing tomorrow. My assumption is he's not playing Sunday either, but also they left it so vague that he could. I don't know. It's just make it to Sunday at this point. I don't love that this is going to be a 2-1 game.
Oh, it will be 100%. All I will say on the Crosby situation is a bruise on the leg is a long way from the heart, Nick. I hope John Cooper has that conversation. I hope Sidney Crosby wants to be a hockey player because Canada's going to need it tomorrow. I even without Crosby, I do think they're going to win tomorrow.
The Lizard people control things, Matt. They have to win.
They will win. Truly, the Lizard, 100%. The Lizard people want Canada, United States gold medal, part duh. And I don't see. I was talking with my father before the show started, and he thinks that the upset tomorrow, if there is going to be one, would be Slovakia. I think the upset's going to be Finland if it's going to happen.
I think it's Finland if it happens.
I mean, and it wouldn't be that big of an upset, obviously, in terms of the money line odds. Canada at -440, United States at -850. So Vegas also agrees that Finland's more likely to win than Slovakia. But without Finland, this is going to be a 2-1, 3-2 hockey game, and you're going to hate watching every second of it because it's going to be there's not going to be a lot of scoring chances. But when they're there, your butt's going to be as tight as possible because if it's against your team, you think it's going to go in, and if it's for your team and it doesn't go in, you're going to be pissed because you're not going to know when that next chance is coming.
I will say I think the discrepancy in money lines, I think part of that is because Slovakia is starting a AHL goaltender, and Vegas doesn't know how to comprehend that because Slovakia was underdogs in the last game against Germany, and they won 6-2. I don't think Vegas knows what to do with an AHL goaltender that's on a heater right now. But, again, your point is 100% correct. This is a 2-1, 3-2 game. Your butt's going to be clenched every time there's an attack or a Finland attack, especially during a Finland attack, because you don't know if Jordan Binnington is going to say, oh, today's the day I return to my Blues form, and I'm going to let 4 goals pass me in, the first 30 minutes. Again, is that possible? I don't know, because Finland, they don't have players that can score, but Jordan Binnington almost cancels that out with his sometimes ineptness in the head. So
I think we're at the point where Binnington, it's 2019 Stanley Cup final against Boston. Binnington, these next 2 games. I mean, I think it's going to be. I think we're at that point in the tournament. There's 2 games left, so it's might as well turn it on right now. And showing up to the rink, what's on the line, and obviously for Canada, it's goal or bust. Same with the United States, and I'm confident in the Canadians that they'll get it done. I do think it'll be a tighter game, just the way the Finns like to play. But Connor McDavid, Macklin Celebrini, they're both going to score a goal tomorrow, in my opinion. And mix in Brandon Hagel will pop one home. Just a gross play, battling for the puck in front of the net, and maybe Rantanen gets one, and that'll pretty much how that game's going to go. Truly, I think Canada, they're the best team in this tournament. And once again, the Lizard. We've been waiting 16 years for this rematch to come, and we're 120 minutes of hockey away from it. The question is, I guess, I don't even know if this is a question, does this game even sniff overtime? I mean, NBC is just addicted to it at this point, where I feel like they might force it down our throat. And once again, this would be the game for it. I have much different thoughts on how the Slovakia game is going to go.
I forgot can we rewind here a bit? 3-on-3 in a gold medal game, somebody needs to be shot.
I don't know how I feel about it. Like, truly, so I was confused. I was so thrown off yesterday during the men's games because it was 10-minute periods, and they didn't resurface the ice. So, they took a 30-second break. I thought they were going to resurface and we'd come back out, and they just went straight into it. And that was, the old John Boy tweet of, motorcycles, helicopters, cocaine. Yeah, mix in some meth, too. Just to jump right into it with no break. Just, all right, guys, go. And it looked like it because some guys were completely gassed. There were scoring chances everywhere for both teams in all three games that had overtime. The break, I thought it made it a little more palatable for overtime, but still, 3-on-3 overtime. It wasn't 3, it was 4-on-4 in 2010, was it not?
It was 4-on-4 in 2010, yes.
In my opinion, it should be 4-on-4 because I understand why it's not 5-on-5 because truly, if the United States and Canada, men's or women, would have played 5-on-5 overtime, they still might be playing.
100%.
Today might still be playing, truly, with the way the goaltenders were playing, and especially on the men's side, just the style of play. The scoring chances are so far and few between. Finland and Canada tomorrow, if they played 5-on-5 overtime, unless Jordan Binnington just decided to close his eyes, the game would probably continue to go on. If Saros was playing as well as he would have to play to get them to overtime. So I think 4-on-4 is the perfect number where, yes, there's more time and space, opens up the game a little bit for there to be a goal, but 3-on-3, no. But I will accept the argument that it's the Olympics and it's a chance to show how good these guys are. Truly their Olympic level of skill. And you do get to see that. But it also sucks when your team's on the losing end of it because it's not, I don't want to say it's not real hockey, but it's not what you just played 60 minutes of. So,
yeah, I get it, but still, I would rather do the compromise in the middle, go back to 4-on-4, figure something out, but I don't know. Before I rewound, was it just the fact that NBC loves overtimes now and they're going to force another one down our throat for the 6th game in a row here at the Olympics? And probably, thankfully, I'm one of 3 people in the office tomorrow. So thankfully, I'll just be under my desk in the fetal position when we're going to overtime. And, Saros has already made 70 saves on the night, and it's 1-1.
There's a shootout at the end of the 20 minutes, too, right?
Oh, dear Lord. I didn't even think about that because it's not the gold medal game.
That is, wait. So gold medal game is continuous overtime until somebody scores, correct?
I'm assuming so because that's what it was today.
Okay, then it is for the men's side. Okay. Still.
But I think there's a shootout for everything else.
And then but for the semifinal, is it 20 minutes or 10-minute overtime before the shootout?
We're still at 10.
Oh, good Lord. Well, ask around for some math because you might need it tomorrow. I don't have a motorcycle or a helicopter or Coke for you, but I don't have any of those things. But, hey, let's talk American hockey. The Canadians, final score prediction, I'm going to say 3-1 Canada. Maybe 4-1 with an empty net, but 3-1 Canada. No overtime.
2-1. Maybe overtime, maybe not. I don't know. Whatever's going to drive me to an earlier grave, that's going to be the final score. So, yeah. So, we're turning the tables now. how the turntables have turned. Matt, Slovakia, USA, your nerves level on a scale of 0 to 10.
They're lower than they should be, and I know that. But I'm going like a 3. Truly. I mean, bald eagle noises everywhere. That's all I can hear these days. The way they were able to go out and win yesterday against, a Sweden team that shouldn't have been a 7th seed. They were on paper better. But I think the reason that game was so close is because Sweden has the second best, or if you want to argue who has a better roster between the U.S. and Sweden, you can. But that was the talent level. The United States, they're playing. Slovakia is a very good team. Hlavaj is having maybe the best, is exceeding the expectations the most out of all the goaltenders coming into this tournament. But the United States is a better team on paper. They, top to bottom, the depth that they have, they could roll 4 lines, and their 4th line is still better. The 3 forwards on their 4th line is still better as a unit than the top line for Slovakia, as good as Slavkovsky is. Give me Connor Hellebuck still scares the shit out of me. Doesn't matter. Give me the United States. I'm going for 5-2. I think it's a game where they kind of control it for 60 minutes. I mean, Slovakia is going to be competitive. I don't think it's going to be obscenely lopsided, but the United States is a better team. They're going to do kind of what they did in the group stage. Maybe not to that same level of degree because Slovakia obviously better, but Slovakia is not better than Sweden. So, yeah, give me the Americans.
I mean, the Americans should roll easy here. I feel like I've said that about 3 of Slovakia's opponents so far this tournament, and Slovakia just, mucks their way to victory, and they don't make it seem close. Surely that can't happen against the U.S. Surely it can't. An AHL goaltender, you're telling me, well, not Austin Matthews, maybe like Dylan Larkin, he's not going to light up an AHL goaltender? Is that what we're really going at here? The U.S., again, Matt, I don't know if you were aware, because I wasn't aware until the intermission reports today when it had it at the bottom of the screen. This game's on NBC tomorrow. The Lizard people aren't going to let
100%.
the U.S. lose on NBC.
Not the Slovakia.
Especially Slovakia. There's no chance. No chance that's happening. Hey, it is what it is. The U.S., I think, wins rather easily here. I did go back a little bit because this is the same 4 nations facing off that we had in 2010. Except the matches were flipped in the semis. So the U.S. was playing Finland. Canada was playing Slovakia. U.S. dominated Finland. 6-1 final in that game. Canada was dominating Slovakia. They were up 3-0 going into the third period. Slovakia got 2, made it close late, but Canada obviously still goes on. Honestly, it's probably going to be kind of that same formula come tomorrow. The Canada game is going to be much closer than it needs to be, which is why it's going to be a 2-1, 3-2 game. And the U.S. probably blows Slovakia out of the water. Now, if you're asking me who I would rather play on Sunday, Slovakia 100%, because I am not doing what I did today again Sunday morning. That just sounds like an absolute nightmare to me. At least I won't be like in an office somewhere. I'll be on my couch and the dog's going to be jumping on me. I'm going to just be like, not right now. This is not the time to do this. So obviously it's Slovakia 100%. But Matt, we do have to, even though it's a very slim chance, what if the rematch we've all been waiting for happens on Saturday instead of Sunday?
I truly don't know. I don't know what would be. Do you think the stakes would somehow be higher because one of them won't medal?
I kind of believe so. Yes, that is my belief.
But if they both play on Sunday or Saturday, I feel like the United States is going to win. Like 100, I feel like if the United States is going to come out, and it would be the most American thing ever for us to win that game and to celebrate like, the podium meme where the guy's spraying the champagne and he's at the bottom of the podium. That's us. Like, we beat Canada. We did it, guys. We're bringing home Canadian tears, even though we finished third. I can also see there being American fans are upset that they're not playing Canada. Like, the United States could win gold, and I feel like there will be people that are unsatisfied. Simply because, once again, I feel like we're only here to play the Canadians, even though it's not the case, and that's not what I'm rooting for. I just want the Americans to win gold.
That's how the roster was built, was to beat the Canadians. So,
and I guess I would love if they didn't play Canada and won, because, as I've said, this team's really good in terms of what they do against the worst teams. Now, Finland, I don't know. Them playing Finland would be absolutely disgusting. I don't want any part of that. But, like, if they were to go out and win gold, and they somehow found a way to to put it together a gold medal winning roster by simply just trying to beat Canada, and I don't even know if that would be good or better or worse, because for the last, I don't know, 2014, 2010, 06, pretty much since the NHLers started coming, it feels like the Americans have just been trying to beat the Canadians. I don't know if that's 100% true. I don't remember truly how those rosters were built and what the landscape looked like at that time, because we weren't at the same playing level in terms of talent like we are now, or closer to, I should say. We're still not the same level at NHL talent as the Canadians have. But I would just love it if we somehow we cracked the formula on accident. That would be very USA of us. But it doesn't matter. I don't know why we're talking about this. The lizard people would never happen.
I just had to bring up the point because, hey, things happen. It could end up happening on Saturday instead of Sunday. Again, do I think it will? No. But overall, do we think... well, obviously, there's a chance for everything. We'll do percentage-wise, 0, 25, 50, 75, 100. So just quarterly breakdown. Chances for overtime in the U.S. game tomorrow.
In terms of quarters, I guess I'll go 25%. I would probably go closer to like 20 or 15% truly, but I don't think this one's going to overtime. Even if the U.S. even if the U.S. lost this game, I don't feel like it's going to overtime. I feel like it's pretty slim. Even if Slovakia finds a way to keep this one close, but I'm not going to say this is a 0% chance, because NBC once again has gotten a taste of the sugar, and they want it, and they crave it. And Kenny Albert needs another overtime game-winning goal call, because his reel isn't packed enough with calls. So, well, I guess we'll see.
We will see indeed. We've made it to this point with Slovakia. Like, there truly hasn't been a game where it just felt like they got blown out, because their only loss was to Sweden. And even though Sweden won 5-3, it felt like Slovakia had a bunch of chances in that game that they just couldn't convert. Kind of feel like we might see the same with this U.S. game, and it may be like a 5-3 game, something along those lines, just because I think Slovakia can find the back of the net. And as you've stated, Connor Hellebuck is not the answer.
I guess the one thing you kind of brought up, even though you kind of went a different direction with it, is in this tournament they did have their not great performance against Sweden, but they didn't play bad in that game from the things I saw. Every team to this point in this tournament, at least of the other three remaining, and every other team in this tournament had it at some point, didn't show up in one game. And Slovakia's played really well for now 3 group stages, 2 elimination rounds, so they're up to 5 games. So it'll be game 6. They're gonna have to play their best game. I don't know if I trust them to come out. Not that maybe they do lay an egg, maybe they don't. Everybody at some point in this tournament has. I guess for the United States it would probably be the game against the Danes, where they looked like shit for 2 periods, and then it's Denmark, so it didn't really matter. Canada, similar thing. I guess it would have been the Czech game. 2 days ago, they really didn't play their best hockey, not as good as they could have played. So I guess we'll have to see. But I feel like the run for the Slovaks comes doing that now. Can they get that bronze medal? Maybe, but as we know, as we talked about in the preview show, Finland's medaled in every Olympics with NHLers since like 06. I think
sounds about right, because they did win the bronze in 2010 against Slovakia.
So they're a tough out, but we'll have to wait and see. Should be a fun day tomorrow. That's what I can't wait for. More good hockey on the way, and NBC is going to feed it to us because the lizard people are apparently lizard people like hockey right now. So that's good for us.
Very positive. I mean, they got to be happy. I don't know if you saw the number today, but yesterday's game, the U.S.-Sweden game, highest rated hockey game that NBC has had for the Olympics since the gold medal game in 2010.
Wow.
So, hey, hockey is in right now. We'll see if it actually translates to the NHL. Spoiler alert, it won't. Half of our playoff games will be on TNT with nobody watching. And then the other half will be buried on ESPN2 or ESPN. And then it will be the Cup final, and it's going to be two teams that like nobody truly cares about on ABC, and it's going to be like, why are we here? Now, let's say, the Maple Leafs make it. They won't because they may not make the playoffs. Then, yeah, maybe this all translates and it's all fun and games. But let's just get through the Olympics first. Matt, we'll wrap it up here. Do you have any final thoughts you want to get on the table before we enter this semifinal Friday?
I don't think so. And I'm thinking to myself, I haven't said enough against JT Miller on this show yet today, but I think I'm going to hold off. He didn't do anything bad today because he didn't play hockey, which he shouldn't play hockey tomorrow. They should scratch him, but they won't, which is fine. I got nothing. Let's have some fun tomorrow. See you on the other side.
Fun is a subjective word. We'll see. It's fun in games when your team's not playing.
We're all going to die one day anyways.
Yes, correct.
Brizgalov said it's just a game. Why you have to be mad?
Honestly, that's how I should have opened today. With someday we will all die, and none of this will matter. That's truly, that's what happens when your defender that probably should have been left home at the beginning of this Olympics blows a tire on a breakaway in overtime, 3-on-3 overtime, and the puck goes in the back of the net. There is no happy endings. We'll wrap it up. What a day of hockey today. People got invested in women's hockey. Positive, very big positive. They'll be invested in men's hockey tomorrow too. Maybe a negative, depending on what happens, because it's going to be a shit show. For me, at least, if Finland win. Just saying. So, we'll wrap it up there. Matt, we will be back Saturday morning, I believe. Gold medal final preview. Maybe bronze final preview, depending on if, Finland and Slovakia decide to shock the world. Then we are hyping up the biggest bronze medal game of all time. But we will be back Saturday morning. Preview gold medal game, which obviously entails recapping the semifinals. Enjoy Four Nations facing off tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching here on the Nick Burt Sports Network. We will see you again soon for another episode of Olympic Ice.